Hello, everyone. My name is John Farner with the Irrigation Association. I'm joined here by the Irrigation Association's Chief Executive Officer, Deborah Hamlin. Hello, Deborah. How are you?
Hello, John. I'm fine, thanks.
Gritting across state lines from Maryland into Virginia. I feel like I'm
Yeah,
sitting right next to you here.
we are.
I know. And we're sitting next to everybody who's watching us today. It's pretty exciting. Technology Tuesday, right?
Absolutely. Happy Technology Tuesday. Happy Smart Irrigation Month, right? It's the whole month of July.
That's
Technology
right.
Tuesday. John and I are wearing blue. I hope everyone is wearing blue at home. Thank
Yes.
you. Even
Make sure
though
you,
we're at our homes, right? We're all videotaping from home or
we're being the
videotaping.
socially distant wearing blue today with the Safer at Home initiative, I guess. And
Exactly.
and please share with us pictures of yourselves wearing blue. We still want to get that message out, the importance of Smart Irrigation Month, Technology Tuesday. Share with us, hashtag Smart Irrigation Month, wearing your blue for Technology Tuesday. It's an exciting time for all of us. Our industry keeps moving forward, given the current environment we're all living in right now. And this year's theme, Deborah, is pretty cool. I don't know if I ever told you this story, but as you know, the Smart Irrigation Month initiative, a lot of volunteer involvement, and our public affairs committee oversees Smart Irrigation Month. So they work with staff to implement a lot of themes, ideas, focuses that we have each year. The tools that are on smartirrigationmonth.org all goes through our volunteer committees. This isn't just staff work. These are volunteers. Last year at the irrigation show in Las Vegas, we'll get to the next irrigation show in a second, Deborah, but I'll tell the story first. We talked about what should the 2020 theme be. And everyone around the table said, we really need to celebrate the people behind smart irrigation. And that's what it came to. And I can't think of a more perfect year to do that, given the challenges our industry has faced, given the pandemic.
Yeah, it's really perfect because I saw something the other day from some of the agriculture folks that it's true about all the heroes of the healthcare people and people that are delivering our goods and sitting at the grocery stores, working at the grocery stores, but ag is not getting enough attention. And even the landscape guys that
Exactly. That's
are
right.
going, ag in particular is putting that food on our table. And so our industry are also heroes of this pandemic. And I love the fact that we are honoring the people this year.
Yeah, it's a perfect. It ended up that was not done purposely. I will not take credit for that at all. That was done just by chance, but it ended up working out very, very well. Because you're absolutely right, Deborah. People are out in the front lines in a lot of states. Work never stopped, and I know people are busier than ever right now in all sectors of our industry. And for that, we should celebrate who we are and all of our accomplishments.
Absolutely.
And even we encourage folks to share your story on our social media pages. Go to smartirrigationmonth.org. There are ways for you to send to us your story. Either it's an employee story, if you're a manufacturer, dealer, distributor, contractor, doesn't matter. Somebody that works for you or you yourself, share your story with us so we can then shout your story from our rooftops about your role in making smart irrigation what it is today. It could be anything. You could be the ones making the technologies, thinking up with the technologies, installing the technologies. Everyone is important in our industry, and that's really our focus for the year 2020.
Right, or the people at your company training new employees to be better irrigators or how to do things.
Exactly.
Or, we all
Exactly.
have a big role, even at the association.
Exactly. Exactly right. Now, before we go into what we want to do, which is announce our award winners for 2020, I do want to talk a little bit about what the IA is up to lately. It's the first time, really, you and I have sat down in front of a camera to talk about some of the decisions that were made for the year 2020, given the pandemic and the global health crisis,
Yeah.
given the IA's programs, what we're up to, things like that. We've had a lot of releases, a lot of statements, a few interviews here and there, but is there a chance to kind of speak to our members, speak to the public about some of the decisions that were made and what comes next?
Sure.
And so let's start with the irrigation show, Deborah. That was a pretty big announcement that we are canceling the 2020 irrigation show.
June
That
1st.
was to, I'm
Yeah,
sorry?
just about a month ago, June 1st, we made the big announcement, and I had a lot of mixed feelings about it, right? It is our keystone event. It is the place where people meet and we get a lot of work done and we celebrate. And the fact that the economy, the organization's budget, and this sort of fear out there of the uncertainty of not knowing what life was going to be like, you know, really drove us to make the decision that we thought that this was best. We thought it was best for the association first and foremost, because if we waited and decided we couldn't have a show because regulations prevented it, we would have already invested all this time and energy, and we were coached to make a decision earlier than later because then we could shift our gears. We had the luxury of time where some of our affiliate partners did not. They had shows going on in July and had to make those decisions instantaneously, or even April. And so we had this time to say, you know, what can we do? What can we take away from the show that we can continue? And just, you know, for the attendee, make sure that we can provide value for the attendee so they can get at least a portion of that value of what they were going to get when they attended the show in person. But also for the exhibitor who's there to meet people and grow their businesses and sell their products, and how can we help them still with their marketing needs for the rest of the year. So we were thankful of the gift of time. I'm thankful that we made a decision early so that staff could 100% pivot and focus on the next piece. And by the way, I'm signing contracts like mad for future years. So we really think.
So we will be back in person someday, right, Deborah? We're not going virtual forever. Yeah.
In 2021, we're going to be back in San Diego, which we haven't been to in a number of years. And it's a favorite destination for so many people that attend. So I'm really excited about that, and hope that this environment that we're in today is much different by December of 2021.
Yeah. I agree. And real quick, I want to talk about what we're doing this year in lieu, but talk about the decision. As you mentioned, this was not taken lightly. We were all involved from a staff perspective as well as a board of directors perspective.
Yeah.
And the discussion, you were in the room where it happened. You know, Hamilton just came over the weekend. You were in the room where it happened, and you heard the discussion. And this decision was not taken lightly. And the factors you just mentioned, they were discussed in depth on the financial ramifications for the association, but the public health and what's best for the manufacturers, the exhibitors, as well as the attendees for their experience. These were all factors taken into consideration. And
I have to say that for the most part, I mean, you know, 98% of our members and attendees who aren't even members have supported our decision. And I have to admit, manufacturers were pretty excited about the fact that they didn't have to make as big of an investment in times where, even though, you know, as you said, things are actually going pretty well for irrigation for the most part, there's still so much uncertainty. Is that going to change in the next quarter? What's going to happen? And being able to take that money and put it aside and say, hey, I don't have to make that commitment this year, was a welcome for them. But you're right. There were so much data that we collected. You know, we went out to our attendees and said, you know, do you think you're going to be traveling by the end of the year? Frankly, I just answered a survey like that for another conference that I go to, and it's really hard to answer that question to me today. I don't know if I'm going to feel comfortable traveling in January. I hope I am. But we heard so many folks who just really were grounding all of their travel through the end of the year, and just make our decision.
So let's talk about this year, 2020. You know, what we have on dock, what we have on tap, moving into the late summer months, into fall. I know we're branding it as Education Week Plus. There is no irrigation show. There will still be an Education Week, but we have this plus associated with it too. As staff, our goal was to develop as much of the content as would be available at the irrigation show, and add on to that to make it still a months-long experience, rather than just condense it into 1 week.
That's the plus. The plus means everything in that new brand.
Yeah.
You know, there's so much that we do that in hindsight, going back, we could bring virtually. And you know, though it was almost like grieving the loss of the show this year, when you turn to say, we have been able to be so innovative in figuring out what we can do. And I even said to a few staff, you know, we're going to do a great job at this, and we're going to have to do it next year and this, because I think it's going to be, we're going to have some really good quality stuff. And I have to say, we've always been known for our education. We have been online with education for many years already. So this was pretty easy lift for us to transition. So
Mhm.
first and foremost, when people think of our show, they think of education. Our classes, we started branding our classes last year as IA University because we wanted to differentiate them. These are things that normally someone sits in a classroom for a day or two, and sometimes you take an exam afterwards. And so those are IA University, you know, like the classes are 200 and 300 level classes that you go to in school. So IA University is actually the one thing that is going to take place that full week that used to be the Irrigation Show Week in December. So we are we have that scheduled together, and I believe it's already up on the website. But then we have other things like our new product contest, which is the number one reason why people come to the show, is to see new technologies. So we felt we're letting our manufacturers down if we don't have an opportunity here. So the new product contest is open. Actually, we're just starting to get the new product contest applications in, and we are going to do that virtually. And we thought to ourselves, you know, this could be bigger and better than we have at the show, because it's going to be going on for longer than a 2-day period. And more people than just those folks who walk the hall can actually see the new products. So those products are going to be on our site for a while. We're going to have the opportunity for everyone to sit in and listen. We're going to add back in a public voting time. So that's going to be fun. So I'm really excited about that. And then in addition, what used to be our technical sessions, we now rebranded to Industry Insights. Well, that was a really easy transition. They're all short sessions. Those are going to be 2 series of tracks, one for landscape and one for agriculture. We actually already have sponsors for these events that we're talking about. Actually, every one that I've talked about, our manufacturers have come through and said, we're still willing to support you through this. Please, you know, let us help you, and we'll have our names on this. It's a win-win. So all of that's fantastic. And then lastly, not necessarily a portion of the show, but we're filling in some of our additional things that we used to do, like an ag dealer day. We're going to make that a virtual conference, and we're going to talk about ag technologies. And so we're going to pepper those throughout the next 9 months of the year. And we don't want to get overload. I know, people already, I'm zoomed out. You know, I'm still seeing very good quality education on Zoom. I love having it on. I can have it on in the background and still capture it, and sometimes still do my work. Like I think these virtual conferences and things are going to be here for a long time because they are so good.
Yeah, people probably have us in the background right now too, Deborah, and that's okay. We're still getting the points across, and that's however.
When are they going to announce those awards?
I know, exactly. When are we going to announce it? So let's move on to the awards. That's enough talk about the IA stuff. People are here to learn about the awards, and thanks for going into detail about the Irrigation Show decision. What comes next? I think it's important to give folks context and regular updates on all this content that we talked about. You can visit either irrigationshow.org or irrigation.org. All the updates will be on those 2 websites. Either one is fine. Find out what the content, what we are delivering each month, each week, each day, what you can sign up for, what the options are, how you can participate with us, things like that. So we're going to regularly update. Let's get back to Smart Irrigation Month and the issue at hand, which is our awards. Yay. This is one of my most favorite parts about my job is the awards program, Deborah, because this really, talk about the people behind Smart Irrigation. Absolutely. I mean, this is, I'm going to start out by saying the nominations and the applications for awards this year were stellar. There was a lot. We had great options to choose from. We, as in the committee and the board of directors. It was a tough decision on some of these. However, I will say that competition was tough this year. There was a lot of good, and I think that's going to shine when we announce who won on just how good the competition was. So I will say that even though these folks, the ones that were decided by the board of directors on receiving the awards this year, everybody that was nominated or applied for an award, we could give any one of these out to any one of these individuals, and it would have been great. It's just, the competition is getting more and more fierce as years go on, I feel like.
And I think that's just a sign of the great people in the industry, right?
I agree. I agree completely.
That there's more people that are doing great things than we actually have the ability to honor every year.
That's absolutely right. And I know it's kind of inside this. So you and I have always talked about how can we recognize more people, more projects, more things. And that's one of these we're thinking about. How can we recognize more? Because we do have so many people doing such good work, so many companies doing such good work. How can we recognize more and more people? But let's get to the awards today. So first things first, Deborah, excellence in education.
Yes. And drum roll, please. The winner of the 2020 Excellence in Education Award goes to Isaiah Kaseka from University of California at Davis. Congratulations.
Yeah. Congratulations. And he just participated in the 2020 Faculty Academy. That is part of our workforce development initiative. Dr. Kaseka, he's an associate professor of ag water management and irrigation engineering at UC Davis, focusing on agrohydrology and irrigation. And like I said, he's been very involved in the IA's workforce development initiatives over the years, faculty academies. So well-deserved award, and congratulations to Dr. Kaseka.
Excellent. Yes, congratulations, Isaiah. And one of our other awards where we always get great projects nominated, and when they don't win the award, we can still write about them in the magazines. So we're trying to get the word out. John, why don't you tell us about the Vanguard Award?
Vanguard Award. The Vanguard Award recognizes a project. This is our one award each year where we recognize a project that exemplifies the essence of smart irrigation, of efficient irrigation. And really, the committee and board looks at specifically where partnerships occur. So it's not just one company, one business doing the project. It's where you incorporate different partners within the project, work on different elements to have real results. So this year, the Vanguard Award goes to the USDA's Ag Research Service Industry Sensor Variable Rate Irrigation SCADA Management Project. That is a mouthful, Deborah. The partners in this award are, of course, the USDA ARS labs throughout the United States. There are several involved in this. It started in Bushland, Texas, but there were several labs throughout the United States. Valley Irrigation, which many of you know. Aclima Incorporated and Dynamics Incorporated, all part of this project. The two project leads with ARS were Dr. Susan O'Shaughnessy and Dr. Steve Evett, both with USDA's ARS. Congratulations to them. And just real quick about this project, they used a cooperative research and development agreement, which is it's called a CRADA for those. It's another Washington, D.C. acronym. They focused on increasing positive results of variable rate irrigation through integrating irrigation scheduling, supervisory control, and data acquisition. It showed positive results in field research with corn, cotton, sorghum, and soybean. And with that said, we're going to go in throughout the next few months. We're going to recognize all these award winners through various videos, interviews. You can learn more about them throughout the year. But as far as our announcements go today, that is the Vanguard Award with the USDA's ARS.
Congratulations.
And Deborah, the Innovator Award.
So the Innovator Award is a fairly new award for us with Vanguard. It's just been around for a few years, and it exists to honor someone, recognize someone who has done something recent that's very significant. And
past 5 years.
Yeah, past 5 years. And so as opposed to a lifetime achievement, although
Correct.
I would argue that our winner has made some great lifetime achievements. I am pleased to announce that my friend and colleague, Stephen Smith, is the winner of the Innovator Award, the 2020 Innovator Award this year. So Stephen Smith is a past president of the association, which is how I got to know him. But over the past, I should know this off the top of my head, how many years he's been working on this consortium Um,
It was the early days. I would say 5 years at least he's been working on it.
He was really the brainchild behind what is now the Irrigation Innovation Consortium, and that is truly why is receiving this award. Is for his work in that area. He's on the executive committee, as do I, and a number of universities and donor manufacturers. And John, why don't you tell us a little bit more about
Yes, the
that?
consortium, as it's called, it's the Irrigation Innovation Consortium. It's a collaborative research effort to accelerate the development and adoption of water and energy efficient irrigation technologies and practices through public-private partnerships. This was a brainchild of Stephen Smith's that he brought to us in the board of directors many moons ago. A little twinkle in his eye of the possibilities that could be. That grew into the organization it is today, and it's already making its mark on the development of irrigation innovation in the couple years that it's been around. And it's really taking advantage of the opportunities with public and private partnerships, getting industry involved in government as well as universities to drive research needs and innovation throughout irrigation. Website is irrigationinnovation.org for more information, learn more about it.
This is their second year of research projects. And this second year, John, you are working on an economic impact study. So
we are, yes.
For that, we might have some preliminary data by the end of the year, maybe.
Fingers crossed. Fingers crossed.
Lots of great stuff going on, and funded by the FAR, the Foundation for Food and Agricultural Research, which is a part of funded by the USDA. So we are tied in with that, and the administrator is the Colorado State University. So it is a pretty impressive entity, and I'm very excited for Stephen.
Yes, it was, like I said, it was his brainchild, and he saw it soup to nuts. And congratulations, Stephen, for those efforts. Now, the highest honor, which is the Industry Achievement Award of the Irrigation Association. Deborah, this is one of those awards that gets more and more competitive each year. And I know even we have some folks that have been nominated that are in the pipeline, and they've been nominated and they're well deserving of it. And hopefully someday they will be recognized with this award. However, we actually are recognizing two folks this year with the Industry Achievement Award. Yeah. So, but I think with the two that are receiving this award, it's well deserved with both of them. So, Deborah.
Absolutely, absolutely. I couldn't be happier with the folks that were chosen this year. The first person I'll name is Linda Whiteman. So Linda Whiteman is certainly a household name in the landscape industry, and probably folks in agriculture will know her as well, especially instructors. Linda Whiteman served her 35 years of her career with Hunter Industries. She just retired this year in 2020. I know Linda best from all of the work that she did with the Irrigation Foundation, from its inception through the transition to IA Workforce Development, where we are today. She had a just amazing relationship with instructors, which then trickled down to the students. And people know her by name, remember her as a mentor that helped them through, helped to teach them how to teach irrigation. But Linda did so much more, but that's the piece that I recognize her for so much. The packet of letters supporting this nomination was literally this thick.
Yeah.
So there's so much more than just the foundation. From things that she did within the industry, she has been a true ambassador for this industry and this association, and very deserving of this award.
I agree. And a little nugget that I didn't know, I knew that she had been with Hunter for 35 years. I knew she's one of the early hires at Hunter Industries. She was the 13th employee hired.
Oh, really?
So if you had an employee number, hers would be 13 with Hunter Industries. And I think her name, just by me working with her, and I think others, her passion for the industry just comes across in spades. She loves this industry, has worked her entire career for its advancement and its future. That's why she focused in on the careers and the importance of education throughout to work with us, with other organizations, allied organizations in the landscape side of the industry, and a very well-deserved award indeed.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. Lucky 13 for her, right?
Yeah, I
Good
know.
for her.
All right, Deborah. So in our last but definitely not least, our second Industry Achievement Award winner.
Right. The double header or double feature, however we want to do it.
A double feature sounds good.
I like double feature.
Yeah.
So, Brent Meekum. Brent Meekum is the second winner for Industry Achievement this year, and I couldn't be more pleased. I have personally worked with Brent Meekum since 2007 when he joined the Irrigation Association staff. And I remember thinking to myself, this would be a coup if we could get this man on our team. I don't think I've ever felt that way about any employee, potential employee. I remember thinking, having so much pressure because I didn't want him to say no. And so thrilled that he could be here and with us and have such an impact on this industry, whether it be with standards or just teaching or any of the areas he touched. Brent was a landscaper, a horticulture. He studied horticulture. Then he went into landscape business, then irrigation, then worked for Northern Water, which had a different name when he was there in Colorado. But he knew every angle. And as he started working with us, he really took on agriculture as well. So he understood it. And he would be the guy that the water gurus in California or the people with the Water Sense program in EPA, they would kind of call him secretly and ask him for his advice. It was wonderful. And there were so many times when I wanted to promote, all this great stuff we were doing, but I didn't want to give up that relationship that he had because people were talking to him and they didn't want to think that anytime they had a conversation, we'd broadcast it. But he is such an expert in this field and such a gentleman and gets along with everyone and understands the complexities and then is able to articulate it in terms that anyone can understand.
Yes.
I don't know. I'm going on too long there.
No. Yeah, that's absolutely right. And Brent's ability to be humble about what he's done and still give back to the industry and make such a difference in the industry. It's what this recognition is well deserved. He made people like you and me, Deborah, look really good, and he's the guy behind it. So it's like I said, both Linda and Brent, you can't think of two more well-deserving people than these two to recognize for the Industry Achievement Award this year. And let's congratulate them because it's definitely well-deserved for both of them.
Well, absolutely. And actually, Brent also retired just
Yes.
last month, June 30th. So I love the fact that they are getting this award sooner than later while everything's fresh in everyone's mind. And we actually had that conversation at the board meeting. Do we just skip a year and honor our winners when we're back in person? And we said, no, we want these folks to get this recognition. And we do believe that we can have some virtual way to recognize them in an appropriate manner. And maybe even more people can see it than just those that are attending our show and attending the general session. So it's a good year.
It's absolutely right. I'm glad you mentioned that because, like I said, we will be working with each individual award winner to allow them that recognition throughout the year this year. Get them on our podcast, create some videos, try to have maybe a webinar or two featuring the different perspectives and thoughts, and just highlighting their careers and reasons why they won or received this recognition in 2020. So that was good. Well, thank you, Deborah. I appreciate that.
I love this part of the job.
It's fantastic. So everyone, happy Smart Irrigation Month. This kicks off our first day of Smart Irrigation Month. Please share the message throughout the month of promoting efficient irrigation, smart irrigation. Go to smartirrigation.org, irrigation.org for different tools and resources and to find out different education that we're providing throughout this year. If, of course, you have any questions, please reach out to us and let us know. Thank you, Deborah. I appreciate it. You can go back and continue to be socially distant for everybody. I will see you soon during a different video call, I'm sure, sometime in the next few days.
Absolutely. Thank you, John.
Thank you, everybody. I appreciate it.
Okay. Bye-bye.